Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Autopsy of Her. Happy Friday to you all. I am Iris Denise Owens, your host, and I am so glad that you're tuning in today. And on the line with me, as always, is my beautiful sister and co-host. Good morning, honey bunny. How are you?
Good morning, honey bunny. How you doing? It's Stephanie
I'm
DeAndre
great.
Green. Good morning, everyone. I'm
I'm
glad
great.
to
I'm
see you
great.
doing so well. You look good. I
Yes,
love the background. I love
you
that
like
background.
the
I like the background. So pretty.
Oh, I love your sweater. I need see, but that sweater is lovely. The color is wonderful, but I don't know if I put that sweater on with that up to my neck like that, I might be passed out on the floor.
Yeah. Let me tell you, that's what I'm thinking about because we always had the conversation before the taping, and I was already having a hot flash. And I'm like, oh Lord. But you know what? It's open, has like I look for it has the holes in it though.
Yes, it has. Yeah. So yeah,
Yes, it
wide.
breathes
Yes.
a little bit.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So that gives you some air. Yeah.
That gives me some
Awesome.
air. I can't wear no tight weaves. I'll be like, ooh. So I'll
Yes.
come outside because then I can leave my coat open. But
Yes.
yeah, because I was in the city the other day and it was like 40 degrees, but I had to leave my coat open because I was still hot.
Well, funny you would talk about degrees because this morning here in the ATL, we woke up to 27 degrees.
Yeah,
It dropped to two.
y'all been waking up to the cold. We woke up to
Yes.
well, I woke up like 7:30 was 39 degrees.
See.
So yeah, we kind of like warmer here than y'all are right there.
Yes. But you know what? I'm actually okay with it though. I'm serious. Born and raised in New York,
It's
I
accurate.
miss the cold. And I know for those Southerners and Atlanteans and Georgians, you all gonna be mad at me, but oh Lord, I'm praying for a little bit of snow. Y'all gonna hate me for saying it, but if I could just get a little bit of snow,
Yeah,
in
because everything gonna shut down there. They don't know how to move.
actually we know better how to maneuver in the snow now, but
Oh, really?
hopefully it'll, if it snows during the holiday or snow, on a like the weekend where most of us will be home anyway, it'll be okay. I'm just telling y'all, it'd be nice to get some snow. So while we were talking today, we were just sharing a lot of things that are going on currently. And of course, there's so much going on in the world at the moment, but in my personal life and in Steph's personal life, we were just talking about how change, right? There is so much change going on um, in life. For me, changing affiliations, changing people, changing relationships, um, changes I see in myself, changes I see in my relationships. So it's just interesting because change is good. That's what we always say. But at the same time, change can be very daunting. And I know one of the things I'm going to talk about or focus on is that the changing of the relationship with your children and changing in relationship with your parents. Um, I just was talking to my daughter yesterday and I spoke to my son earlier in the week. And I always tell my children how proud I am of them in the fact of that they are growing into well adults, young adults, individuals, human beings who are handling and taking care of their life, doing
Mhm.
what needs to be done in order for them to excel in life and to go after those things, that whatever they see the vision is for their lives. At the same time, I'm dealing with change in my relationship with my mother. Um, as we get older, we start to see changes in our parents. And I know I've said this before, that I remember when I started to see age on my mom, and my mom was like in her 40s. Yeah, my mom was 43 because I was 23. And not that she didn't age overnight. It's just like I just saw like age, and I remember thinking to myself, oh my God, my mother's getting older, right? Now, again, hear what I said. I was 23, she was 43. Now I'm 57, she's 77, right? And my mother is, she is a spry, sharp tongue, wit. Just you say something, she might snatch you all the way back with the words that she said to you, and your feelings may be hurt at the same time. You might just bust out and laugh because you'd be like, I can't believe she actually said that to me. However, I'm starting to see changes, and I'm starting to see changes in our relationship. And I think at a point that becomes daunting, and at a point it becomes a blessing when you see that happening. Because being an only child, I remember always saying to my mother, I want you to always be around because I want to make sure I'm there to take care of you, right? But I think when we say that, do we know what that really means? Because taking care of your parents is not an easy task. And I mean that from the greatest of where your parents don't need any assistance from you to the point of where you become your parent caretaker. It's a hard job. And I know that there are thousands, millions of people out there dealing with that on a day-to-day basis. But it's a hard job. And I think what makes it so hard is the emotional part of it first. Learning how to accept whatever may be going on with your parents, whether it's physical or it's emotional or it's mentally, it's sickness, it's illness, whatever it may be. It's a hard task to take care of your parents. And so I think that's just where we're going to live today, about parents and about our children, because those are the two people or persons in our lives that we, at some point in time, I think, get to take care of more than once.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, because I remember we was thinking about when you just talking about how you saw age on your mother. I never forget when I saw my mother, and she was like, this is my biological mother, and my sister was getting married.
Mm-hmm.
And so she was like 44 and she had glasses on. I was like, you wear glasses?
You're like, wait, what?
She had glasses on and she had this long dress on, like that down by me. Dress like that. It was just odd to me. But I mean, and even though I didn't start wearing glasses and I just still wear readers, not until I was well into my 50s,
Mm-hmm.
maybe like 3-4 years ago. But it's just because it is a little different. We are not our parents. It's just
Mm-hmm.
different. Um, but still, at the same time, when you're used to your parent being so young, but glasses really threw me off. I was like, you got glasses? The gray hair that threw me off, but the glass thing, I don't know what that was about for me. And so it was funny because my kids, and being an older mom. Matter of fact, I was at the doctor yesterday, and the nurse told me that now the term for anyone that has a baby 35 and older is called geriatric pregnancy.
Pregnancy. Mm-hmm.
I was like, that is so appalling. Like, really? That's what we're
Yes.
calling it now? So what do you call women that having babies in their 40s and 50s? But
Completely over the top.
you know,
Completely have lost your mind. Yes.
because my kids remind me every day, like, well, you're old, mommy. You're old, mommy. And it's like,
Yes.
I am not gonna wait to be 36 having my first baby. I
Right.
say,
Right.
God gives it to you now. But yeah, so it's like different. So they started. I think they just think like, oh yeah, that's my mother. That's how old she is.
That is
36
correct.
to 38. But when I saw a mother with glasses, that just threw me for a loop. I was like, oh, what's going on there? Because she's 22 years older than me.
Right.
And the see glasses on her, I don't know, just really, it changed everything. Now, if you were like just older always, that didn't bother me, but she was always so young. And it
Right.
just was odd. And then, I don't know, and she don't wear glasses there all the time, which is readers, but it just was like, what you doing wearing glasses? How old are you?
Well, I think it's interesting. And I know from my perspective, so being an only child, I always tell people my mother was and always will be my best friend, because my mother was the mother who, she played with me. She literally played with me. We had a standard routine every Friday night that when my mother would come home from work, and that would be she would bring in an Ettiman's pound cake from work, and I would have already set up the little pink plastic tea set. And then we would have tea and pound cake. And then she would put on music, and I would put on outfits and glasses, and I would dance for her and entertain her. And then she would teach me how to dance. This is why I know music so well, and I love music so well, and I love to dance, because that was something my mother and I always did together, something we still do today. Whenever I have the opportunity, we go someplace, I always take my mother on a dance floor, because she literally taught me how to dance. And then
Beautiful.
we would after we would have our tea party and our little talent show. I think I've told you all this before too, that my mother would then put on Creature Feature. For those of you who are our age, Creature Feature. That was the scariest thing in life. And here's the thing now. So the movies today, right, have all this blood and gore and all this stuff. I don't watch those because I can't take the blood and the gore. But I think back to Creature Feature, where there was no blood and everything was always someone was going to hit someone was going to kill someone, but you never actually saw it. But I could not handle it. And so my mother would turn out all the lights in the house. And of course, me being the kid, I would be like, I have to go to the bathroom. She's like, well, go ahead. And so I'd find my way to the bathroom, and then I'd come back, and my mother would not be sitting in the bed where she was supposed to be. And she would be behind a door. She'd pop out from the closet. She would just scare the living bejesus out of me. And I tell her all the time, you are mean. That was me. And so, but something about also that my mother taught me, my mother was one, and a lot of my, like one of my really good friends thinks that it's really weird that I operate in the dark. Like I will get dressed in the dark. I will shower in the dark. I do a lot of things in the dark. I do that because my mother taught me that. My mother taught me that it was really important to know where stuff is in your house.
Yes.
She's like, what would happen if you lost your sight? What would you do? And I was like, what do you mean? What would I do? I'd be miserable. I'd be, and she's like, but in your house, you should know where things are. She's like, if the lights go out, of course, you go get candles, but what would you do? How would you operate? What would you? And that's the one thing I've always appreciated about my mother. I always say, smartest woman, most resourceful woman I have ever met in my life. There's nothing that if I told my mother something, and I will be on this is not going to happen, my mother's going to come up with 10 other ideas, which for me now is driving me nuts. Because I'm like, that's not the way that goes. It's not going to happen. But yet, the lesson I have learned from that, though, is that how positive she's always going to be, how resourceful she's always going to be. My mother's statement always was, there's more than one way to skin a cat.
What?
And my mother would she gonna skin a cat, skin a dog, skin a rat, skin a squirrel, whatever it's gonna take to get you to what it is that you're trying to get to. She's gonna exercise. My mother is, I will say, like, I now have the term that I'm a packer, and I'm a packer. I can pack anything. You know why? Because that's something my mother taught me. We could have a car, like when I go on a girls' trip, right? We went with, let's say, 5 pieces of luggage. We come back with 15 pieces of luggage. But best believe I get everything in that car, plus the 5 people, right? So there are things that I realize I've learned from my mother, and I realize that, we always grow up saying, I'm not going to be like my mother when I grow up. But for me, if I could be half the woman that my mother is, and the things that she has taught me will mean that I have lived a really good life. And my mother is truly the most resourceful person I ever know. She's always has the attitude that it can be done. It can be done. It will be done. And you just got to figure out how you're going to do it, right? Never want to give up, never want to quit. But it's interesting, just like with your children, when you see your children growing up, I've always been, I think, because my mother always gave me freedom, I reared my children the same way. I think that's important because it's really, I think we do our children an injustice when we try to hold them too close, and we will not allow them to learn how to discern, how to make decisions, how to realize sometimes you need to learn that it's time to go home, or sometimes that's not the friend for you, or those are not the people that you need to be around. And sometimes that means you have to allow them the opportunity to get a bump and a bruise. I'm not saying, you know, let them get in a car that you know is going to crash. But sometimes if you don't allow them the ability to learn to make decisions, they get in the car that's going to crash, not even realizing that that's going to happen. That makes sense.
Well, I mean, you have to let children develop their coping skills because you're not always going to be there for them. You have to let them figure it out, and that's important. That's important. But I was listening, I was thinking, like when you're talking about your mom, and the biggest thing I got from my mom is entrepreneurship. My
Mm-hmm.
mom always had her own business, before I
Mm-hmm.
was born. And she was like, you have to have your own. She always like that's all I've known her to do is be a business owner.
Right.
And she made more money, than my father. And always had a beautiful home. I always had beautiful clothes, beautiful things. And she was like, you have to have your own business. She said, that's where I got my entrepreneurial spirit from, is from my mom. And I think that we always do say, oh, we don't want to be our parents. But it's something I think that it's like as you grow and you learn, and there's so many different things that are new in the world that was they didn't experience like we experience. But I think you take, what's for you, you take, and what's not for you, you don't take.
Right.
But it is different things. But the most like I think the best part of them you definitely want to always take with you. I
Yep.
mean, certain things now that my mom, now that she's passed, I hear her, when she tries to share different things with me, sometimes it just pops up like, oh, now I understand what she was saying. I get it, when she's talking about a situation or something. And I'm like, wow, this is a light bulb moment goes off because you don't always get the lesson or understand what they were saying at that moment. And
Mm-hmm.
it's going to be in June, it's going to be 10 years since my mom has passed.
Mm-hmm.
And every not every day, but at least, like I don't know, once a month, just pop something from her just pops in my head, and I'm like, oh, now I get it. And she's passed 9 years ago, so and that's why I guess it goes back to feeding your children. It's because you think that maybe they're not listening to you, they really are, and with the information that you're giving them, they'll get it when it's time for it to serve them. you know when the purpose of it comes, it's time for that information that you fed them. It will spark in their memory. I because that's what's happening to me, all the
Mm-hmm.
time. So it's important, but you have to let your children be children. You have a 1 year old, you can't talk to like when they're one, you're talking like they're one. When they're five, you're talking like they're five. you know just like when they're 25, you talk to them like they're 25. I think that we do our children a disservice when we continue to talk to them or speak to them like they're children. It's like it's nothing good about that. There's this lady I know, a very, very nice lady, and her daughter, and I met them at a vending event, and it was something I would do annually. And when I first met her daughter, the way she would treat her daughter, I'm like, oh, and the daughter, I'm thinking the girl's a teenager. And as time moved on, and the daughter's like, "Oh no, I'm married." That I did not get from this type of relationship. And then not only was she married, she had like a husband and like three children. But even after finding that out and doing that event, it'd always be like at a hotel, we staying there, and the mother they come down to my table, want to buy jewelry, and she treats her just like this little girl. And the daughter just sits there It was very odd to me. But sometimes I guess she takes care of her husband and her kids, but the mother like needs that. And she's a very young mother too. So it's really odd, but I guess that's how she sees her. And the daughter allows her that. But when if you're standing there, you would swear this lady was a teenager, and she is nowhere near being a teenager.
Funny you would say that, because I was watching is some show, and I don't even remember the name of it. It's some show that's on. It's a talk show, and of course it's a talk show. So I always watch things now more so, not so much the antics, but the content.
Mm-hmm.
So this show was a mother and a daughter were on. The mother had fallen into a coma. This young lady, the daughter, was 23 years old. I don't know how old the mother was, but the mother had fallen into a coma for over a month. And there were younger siblings. I think there were 2 or 3 younger siblings. So the 23-year-old she did everything she could. She paid her mother's, tried to pay her mother's bills. She did not pay her mother's car note or car insurance, and the car was lost. And I think the mother ended up losing her apartment as well, because a 23-year-old, of course, she didn't live at home anymore. So she took the kids and she took care of the children, her siblings, until the mother got out of the hospital. Well, when the mother got out of the hospital, she was angry because she said that her daughter abandoned her. She felt like the daughter had not done all that she needed to do, or not could have done, but what the mother thought she should have done for her. And the mother told the daughter, "You are to take care of me." And the daughter said to her, "It is not my responsibility to take care of you and to take care of my siblings." She's right.
She's right.
She's very right. One of the things my mother always used to say, and again, I never really quite understood that, because I kept thinking, is that really how that works, right? Well, my mother always says, and will still say, your children owe you nothing.
It's true.
Right? Your children owe you nothing. She says, yes, you would hope that in your time of need, in your aging stages, that your children would be there. But we all have seen situations where there are families where there are massive siblings and children. There's more than one. So it to me, anytime there's more than one, everybody should be, somebody has a role. Everybody should be participating and pitching in, right?
Exactly.
But I have seen where it doesn't work like that, right? No, and in my only child head, I don't understand that. I don't have understanding of that. I also don't have understanding, though, of when siblings have sibling rivalry. I don't understand that. And I reared my children with the mindset that you are not allowed to treat each other in a way where you're talking about, I can't stand you, I hate you, I'm not talking to you, we will not. Now, what you all do when my eyes are closed, I hope is not that. But I hope that when my eyes are closed, you will still hear what I have taught you and instilled in you, that you would never treat each other that way. But my point being was that this mother felt like her daughter owed her. And the daughter was like, I've done all that I can, and then some. She says, and so even the audience and people in the audience were like, she's 23. Don't you think your expectations are really high of a 23? Like, she took care of the kids. She tried to pay your bill. She paid your bills. She gave her a car. And the young lady said, I know it wasn't the best car, but it was one of my cars. I gave you a car. And this mother just would not own up to the fact that her daughter didn't owe her all of that. And so I don't ever want my children to be in a situation where they feel you owe me something. I want my children to feel like that's our mother, and I will take care of her. I will do whatever it is that I need to take care of. And that's how I feel about my mother. I don't owe my mother anything, but I want my mother to be well. But also realizing that trying to take care of the person who birthed you and reared you into this world, for those of you who are doing it, have done it, you already know this. For those of us who are entering into this, I'm, you are not ready. I am not ready. Because imagine if your parents are, laid back and easygoing, and they'll be like, oh, sweetheart, whatever you want to do is fine. You got this. If you have parents though who are quicksilver tongue, you're not telling me what to do, girl. Go over there and sit down somewhere. This task is not as easy as it's going to be, because I realize even in when we are trying to take care of our parents, the first thing you want to always recognize is that you cannot strip a human being, your parents especially, of their dignity.
Oh, absolutely. Respect has to be on the table like in full force all the time, because they become ultra sensitive to begin with, because they're like, I'm not what I used to be. And to be honest with you, most parents do not want to be taken care of by their children. There are some, but most parents do not. They always want to stay in that role as parent, and that means that I take care of you. You do not take care of me. So it's definitely a hard transition, for that to happen. But the reality is that things constantly change in relationships, all relationships, because as you grow older, as by the time you graduate from high school, college, law school, medical school, whatever, and you move to different states, move to another country, those relationships, they change. Not to say for better or for worse, they just change as you get older. I look at my niece and I, we're very, very close. I was 26 when she was born. I took care of when she was a baby, took care of, like now, she's a grown woman. And now we could go, have a cocktail together. So it's different than when I was changing her pampers, but those relate as they are supposed to evolve. I think that we as people do ourselves a disservice when we try to keep people in a box, because when you try to keep somebody in a box, they're gonna be like the Hulk on you. Okay, not to bust out of that bad boy. But you have to know that people are gonna grow and change. I never forget, my aunt said to me when I had my first child, she said, enjoy your children when they're young. And it is so, so true.
Yes.
Have fun with them and play with them and talk to them. I mean, they will adore you. You're like a god to them. You know what I'm saying? By the time they get 7 or 8, they're looking at you like, let me tell you something now. You know what I mean?
Right. So and so said.
It just starts to change.
So
And
and
it's
so
like,
said.
and I think that I know, sometimes whatever your circumstances is, but I see how people really don't spend time with their kids when they're young, and not necessarily because of working. They're just like, they're gonna be there. No, they're not really gonna be there. They're gonna be, those stages go
That
by like,
time
wow.
goes really quickly.
Oh, what it does. And when like people say to me, being now somewhat of an empty nester, and because my kids were with me all the time, you didn't see me without my children. Don't you miss them? I miss them, but not to the point that, oh, I wish I could get them back, because I was there, like, doing
Right.
things, and watching the difference as they grew, and adjusting to my conversation, because now, they're 5, then they were 10, then they were 15. Conversations change, like me and my daughter, we're on the phone, and oh, she watched, oh, mommy, I need to watch. You watching Potomac Housewives? Like, friend, I'm not watching that. You come over here, I'll watch it with you. But, see, talk about this. We have all these different types of conversations. Same
Yes.
thing with my son, different conversation I was having when he was 15 or 12. So, but you have to look forward to that. And you don't know when you try to keep a kid small, or some people want to keep them immature. Like, I don't know, they had this, they probably still do it. I remember they had this thing when the kids started school, they were encouraging mothers to leave the boys back because they were a little immature. So they
Mm.
get a little more And some mothers had chosen to do that.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, wait,
Mm-hmm.
we'll help me put my son back. Oh, give him a
Right.
chance. I don't know. That didn't make sense to me. And some people, what was the idea of that? And some parents was actually doing that, so he can mature a little bit. The school suggested we probably leave them back. Like, we're not doing that. They'll catch up eventually, and they do.
Right. And they do.
So, yeah, just you enjoy it while you're in it, like that whining, crying. I mean, don't get me wrong. When you got a colicky baby and all this stuff, it is not. It's not. It's the worst, actually.
Yes. Yes, it is.
When you will look back on it, it's just going to be a minute. And it will be a day that, when they pack their bags, they go off to college, and be like, I wish our colicky baby was here right now. What I'm saying? You got to got to know that it's, it's going to end. It really is. It's just going to be a whole nother stage. And
Yeah.
and pray you have a great relationship. If you get into a situation and have a great relationship with that kid, then that's a whole nother, can of worms that you're opening, that, don't respect each other. And then, you wish, oh, I wish they were a baby again. But you have to do the work when they are that young. So
Yes.
you can, manifest those great relationships, for the future. Because they are adults. They come into this world as little people. And you really don't know what you have helped create until you actually put them out into the world.
I
Because one
was
thing,
watching, I was talking, I don't know who I was talking to, but it was somehow we got on the conversation of childbirth and about pain and having children. And I remember saying, the Bible clearly states that a woman shall bring forth children in pain. It clearly states that, it is written, right? But you have to look at your relationship with your children and your parents kind of the same way in a birthing process, because of the fact that the children will come forth in pain, but the minute they take that child and lay that child on your chest, the pain dissipates. The pain dissipates. That is somehow how God created this wonderful way of us to be able to, because imagine if a woman has a child and births a baby and is in constant pain, the chances that that mother and that child are never going to get to the bonding point.
exactly.
That makes sense to me, right?
Right, right,
And
right.
so, it's the type of pain that the reason why you forget it, because everything that happens after the birth of the child, there's more joy, there's more happiness, there's more things that you have to remember than ever the pain of birthing. Hence the reason why we will go and do it again and
And
again
again, and
and
again.
again. Right? It can't be that painful because we will do it again and
Exactly.
again and again. Right? And so I'm learning how to appreciate, and this may sound crazy, but I'm learning how to appreciate the pain, because pain, for lack of a better terminology, pain is like you get a cut, right?
Mm,
And then the cut scabs over. The scabbing over is the point of where nothing else can enter in to make it be painful anymore, but it's a healing process, right? And during that healing process, you're like, as it heals, you start to forget that there was even a cut there, to the point that one day you'll look and you'll go, I had a cut, and you can't find the proof that there was a cut.
exactly.
I look at life now as that same type of process, that there are so many painful things in our lives, i.e., loss of parents, loss of children, loss of loved ones, loss of job, loss of ability to live your life to the fullest, loss of, there's just loss, losing anything, losing your favorite necklace, having someone steal something from you, whatever it is, loss creates pain. But you have to keep moving. You have to work through the pain, because if you stay in the loss and you stay in the pain, that means you're not living anymore.
Oh yeah.
You're not living anymore. You're just there. You're existing, but you're not living. And I'm learning that in life, in all change, at the moment, it will not feel good. Most times it does not feel good. Change is hard for anybody and everybody. Change is hard, even when it is something we want to do, right? Because if you look at the point of change from a more of a positive, we normally look at change from, okay, let's say I'm getting divorced. You're like, oh my God, getting divorced is the worst thing. But then you celebrate after you have the divorce. You go out, you be like, I'm divorced. Yeah. Come on, girls, let's go drinking. You're drinking, you go buy new clothes, you change your hair, you dye your hair, you cut your hair, you put more hair on. You do whatever you want to do. But the initial pain of that moved you to make a decision for change. And the change came about as better.
It's funny, like I did not do. I still like I was when I was watching like people, and I know like people have divorce party. Like you have a divorce party. I'm like no.
Yeah, I never had a divorce party.
Yeah, I just didn't think it was anything to celebrate,
No.
because it was like, I mean, obviously it was necessary,
Right.
but I think that it's not anything that you wanted to do, you know. So out of that thing, I never felt like, oh, like yes, we're both happy not no longer being married to each other, but
Mm-hmm.
it would be nothing for me that I wanted to celebrate, you know. Even now, and I've been like now divorced for like 4 years, it's still nothing that I want to celebrate,
Right, because it's lost. It's
It is.
lost. But you said something, you said a key word, necessary.
Exactly, yeah.
Sometimes in loss and in change, it is something that is necessary.
Mm-hmm.
And even if it doesn't feel good at the moment, when you process it and as you're going through the process, then you do find the necessity of why you had to make the decision or why the decision was made. Because sometimes we don't make the decision. Sometimes the decision is made for us.
Mm-hmm. That's true too.
So,
And I think that you have, and I think that I think for change for me, I am of kind of a complete changer in a sense that like I had a friend and they were like they got divorced and but they still wanted all the things. And I would think to myself that if we're getting divorced, I just really don't want those things because those things was in that relationship.
mm-hmm.
And like, but some people want to still hold on to those things. And so, you kind of go to her home and it looks the exact same way as it was when she was married.
See, I think if you get divorced, you need a new bed.
Oh, absolutely. A new bed, new mattress, new towels, new
New
pillows.
sheets, new
Absolutely.
everything. You
Yes,
need a new
yes.
bed. You
Yes, and
can
you definitely need
even and
new
I'm just saying,
lingerie,
right. Even if you sleeping in that bed by yourself, new bed.
absolutely.
You need a new bed.
I do think that. I just don't understand, or just like how, it's like sometimes I've seen, friends where only thing that has changed with the divorce is like, okay, it's like, like when you have like a little dollhouse. All right, the dollhouse stays the same, just put a new husband in place.
Well, right, you put a new or a new wife in place, right? You
Put a
just
new
changed out the people. You didn't change those nothing in the surrounding. Again,
exactly. I mean,
change
everything.
is good. Yeah, change is good, but it's just I like I think one day we're gonna have a conversation about if you are dating someone, right? And then you have your house, that person has their house, and then you decide to get married. Do you move into the other person's house?
No, you sell both houses and you buy a new house together.
Amen.
That's
That's
the
my
way.
thought.
I mean, I think that if people are so stuck, for me, if which I've seen some men and women, well, I love my house and I'm not giving up my house, then to me, you're not really ready to build a new relationship with someone. You say that
Mm-hmm.
you are, and that's all well and good because you can still have, we what do you call it? Like sleepovers, if that's the kind of relationship you have. So I come sleep over your house, you come sleep over my house, whatever. And now they're doing these new things where people are married and then you live in your house and they live in their house. If I'm married, for me, Stephanie Deani Green, we gonna live in the same house.
Right.
So
Because I think if you are, I remember saying that to, I remember saying that to someone and they were like, oh, hell no. I was like, what is the point in getting married if you were going to live at your house and I'm going to live at my house? So that's why I'm saying.
The tax benefits.
But that's why I think, well, listen, going back to my mother said she was not marrying anybody because why? She was not giving up her Social Security.
That's what my mother said.
So you guys, you see what I'm talking about with change? Because as you get older in life and change happens, your priority changes.
Oh, absolutely.
Deeply. Priorities change deeply.
Your circumstances. That's just the way it goes.
Yes. So it would be interesting. I would love to have a conversation. I think that should be a poll question about whether or not, and especially depending on at what point you are, what stage you are in life. So if you're like, if you've been married 20, 30 years, right? And you're now in your like late 50s, 60s, 70s, and you're getting married and you have a house and they have a house. Do you sell your house and buy a new house together?
Oh, yes. Or maybe in that situation, kind of how old you are. Maybe in that situation, you're moving to the bigger house or or moving to the smaller house. If one has a larger house, a small house. It's like, say you're 75. Okay. And so it's counting on, you may say, we'll sell the bigger house, move into the smaller house, and we'll take the proceeds from that money and travel a little bit. You know what I mean? Because how many years we have left?
Wait, before we travel anywhere, let's go back to that house. Are we redecorating the house?
Oh, absolutely not.
Are we getting rid of everything in the house?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. I just wanted to know.
Well, I mean, I think I got rid of my the man I was married to, he got most of he got like so maybe maybe I have 20% of what we had. Some things I had even before we were married. So it's like 20% or whatever, like that. But or maybe 25%, but 75% of all my stuff is, new or I don't have it. Like I'm hosting Thanksgiving. I still don't have no dining room chairs, so I do dining room table.
I'm gonna need you to go borrow some chairs. Tell everyone to bring a chair.
I saw some on Marketplace, and I said I could
just say bring a chair. Tell them bring a chair. Just tell them bring a chair.
I have sofas, so I guess it's still on sofa. But I need some more TV there. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But so like I think you definitely, I do. Even for me personally, I think that if you're in a relationship, and if it's a serious relationship, and say he had a girlfriend, you had a boyfriend, whatever, I think you need to be thinking about getting a new mattress if you're gonna be having intimacy. I think you should get a new mattress or something.
I think so.
Pillows, I really do.
All the things, if you're holding on to all these things that are still the reminder of previous relationships, like with anything else, then you are holding on to spirits, you're holding on to soul ties, you're holding on to energy. So change comes about, with cleansing.
Exactly.
Right? With cleansing. Change comes about with cleansing, and cleansing doesn't just mean I'm wiping it down. Sometimes cleansing means I need to remove certain things. I need to get rid of things that are reminders or remnants of previous relationships or past relationships. And I think it's important to make decisions to do that. I remember when I started, I got to the point in life where I was like, guess what? I don't need old cards from people I'm no longer in relationship with. I don't need pictures of people I'm no longer in relationship with. I threw away pictures. I threw away.
I'll throw away a picture in a minute.
I threw away my first wedding pictures, and my mother went and took them out the trash. And I was like, and the reason for that is what? But maybe for her, For her, it's a memory. I don't know. For me, I'm done. I'm good. I don't need that memory. And I'm not, there's no time in my life that I'm going to go back and pick up that book and go, oh my God, on this day, I'm going, oh my God, why the hell did you do that? You know, so
for my first little wedding, my first little wedding. So like married for 7 weeks, but I made my wedding dress and my headpiece. And I now I don't know where it is, but I did keep the picture of just me by myself.
Okay, there you go. There you go.
But where it is at this point, I think probably when
you have no idea.
I got rid of it. But yes, I did keep it. But some people aren't ready. I know this one girl, she started dating this man, and he was dating a woman. They were dating, but I think the woman used to come over, but the woman had passed away.
Oh,
And
wow.
she was saying that she would go over to his house and she was, they were intimate, but the woman's clothes were still in the closet. I was like, oh, yeah.
No, thanks. No.
Like, I mean, all that energy and everything like that. Like, oh, no way in the world.
There is a reason why the word change exists. There is a reason why you change your sheets. There is a reason why you change your clothes. There is a reason why you change partners. There's a reason why you change addresses. Change is just that. It means you must do something differently.
Yeah,
because if you keep doing it the same way that you have done it in the past, you will keep continuing to get the same results.
It's true. And I think you need new underwear, new lingerie. I think you need all that stuff also. I really do.
My mom's best friend used to, her goal every year, her present to herself was that she bought all new, complete new undergarments every new year. She threw away all the, I was like, you know what? She got a good point. I like that.
She does. Yes, she does. She definitely does.
She was real serious about always having a whole new lingerie and underclothing collection. So I think that's.
I do keep. The only thing I keep, which I don't know why I keep. I guess it's just like sentimental. I keep my what do you call it? My nursing bras, and I kept from I kept a nursing bra from when I nursed my kids. I do. I keep my nursing bra.
We'll talk about that offline, okay? We'll talk about that offline. So anyway, guys, since we are in the season of Thanksgiving and thankfulness, I just want to say truly, we are thankful to all of you all who have tuned in and have been hanging out with us and supporting us and listening to us over the last soon to be 3 years.
Yes.
I am so appreciative of you all having shared with us. Come on, those who have been guests for us, we really appreciate. I really appreciate you, and so thankful for trusting us to even share your deepest life experiences, your secrets, your heartaches, your pains, your joys. Truly grateful for you, and we are so happy that you did that. So just want to say how grateful and how thankful we are for you, Steph.
Yes, we are. No, I really appreciate you, Iris, for this journey, because we talked about it, and she was like, you know what, we should do a sample show. I'm like, yeah, that's a good idea. We did a sample show. Oh, I published that. I'm like, that's a sample show because it was it kind of like all started out of my issue. Like, I kept being, in ICU and intubated. And she was like, what's going on here? So it was like, let's get these feelings out. Let's start talking. Well, if you feel like that, other people feel like that too. And I must say, we've been doing this. I haven't been in ICU. I haven't been intubated. Thank you, Jesus.
Amen. Thank you, Jesus.
So I haven't seen the light, on my way to meeting the Lord, like, not no time soon, hopefully. But yes, so I thank you for that, because we've been like, trying, you got to just kind of like jump in there
Yes.
and just get it done. I really, really appreciate it. I appreciate everyone who just tunes in every week to listen to us, talk about different subjects and kind of like have a good time and be like, oh, I never thought about it like that. And it's just, it's our perspective, your perspective, because everybody has one. That's why when there
Absolutely.
is an accident and 10 people see it, you get 10 different stories. So yeah,
Absolutely.
no judgment, it's just like, and that's why we always say it's our view, but we appreciate all of you guys. And
Yes.
coming to the end of the year, it hasn't been short, it hasn't been long, but it's been an interesting year.
Yes, Lord. And I'm sure that next year will be even more interesting.
It will be, as you on this journey called life.
Life.
It never, I tell you, it's never a dull moment. It always constantly surprises me in a good way, I must add, because for me, like, my glass is always half full, and it's getting fuller by the day. It's like the older I get, the fuller the glass is getting.
Amen.
Because you just know how important that you're closer to the grave than you are to the cradle. But like all those things that you worry about and this and that and be mad at people, all that energy, it's really not worth it. Every day I try to become love more and more every day,
Yeah.
because you give love, you will receive love. And even sometimes that people don't give you that same love, but if you keep giving that person, it's like the simplest things, like the told people, some of them want to speak to you, some of them don't. And I speak to like, hi, how are you? And she just looks at me stoically. And now the same lady now say hi. Now finally she speaks back.
Right. She's like, she gonna keep talking to me. I might as well speak back.
Exactly. It's like that kind of thing, you know what I mean? So it's like you have to just like, let it just roll off your back. It's not that serious, you know what I mean? Do they really call me stupid? Uh, okay. You gotta take a deep breath. You know what I mean? It's not
Breathe,
always
think, process. Sometimes just breathe and walk away. Sometimes that's
yeah,
the best thing right there. Breathe and
yeah. Like,
walk away.
it's all right to say, give me a moment.
Right.
let me have a
Right.
moment.
Give me a moment. I'll be right back with you.
Yeah, exactly. Give me a little
So
space.
I hope that you guys are all going to have the opportunity to have some time with yourself first during the holiday season. And if you are spending time with your family, awesome, amazing, right? If you choose not to spend time with your family, awesome, amazing. But whomever you decide to spend the time with, make sure that it's going to be uh, blessings unto you, unto your spirit, unto your life, unto your time. This is a hard time of the year. The holiday seasons is a hard time of the year for many people for various reasons. But always remember to take care of yourself. Your self-care is important. Your mental health is important.
Yeah.
Take care of your mental health. If going to the family dinner is going to put you in a place where the next day you're not going to be able to get out of bed, or you're going to be in pain or hurting after this happens, maybe you go spend the holidays with someone else.
That appreciate you.
Right. Or you stay home with yourself and appreciate yourself.
Absolutely.
But
Absolutely.
just just find the reasons why you are grateful. Find the reasons why you're thankful. Because it's the season. Every day is a thankfulness season
Oh,
to me.
absolutely.
Right? There's a reason to be thankful every day. Right. Every day is a day of Thanksgiving. That is the truth. And so I just want to say, we are grateful for all of you. We are thankful for each of you who tune in. Steph, I am grateful for you, thankful for you. Like I said, even sometimes when I want to, even though I'm the positive person, I am a positive person, but I can sometimes get where I am overwhelmed with my circumstances and situations. And even though you will say sometimes, you'll be like, I'm always happy. And I go, no, you're not. Because I'm like, that's not true. But it reminds me that there is always a reason to be happy. You always remind me there is a reason to be happy, and that despite what's going on around me or happening with me or even within me, there is always a reason to be happy. And I'm grateful to you for that, because you remind me of that all the time. And that helps me balance myself again, find my equilibrium, find my footing, so as to not get caught up and go down that rabbit hole. So I love you for that. And I thank you for that.
Oh, thank you so much. I
And
appreciate you.
I just want to
I
remind
want to
you
ask
all.
you
Yes.
a
Yeah.
question. So Thanksgiving is next Thursday. So I want to ask you, what are you thankful for?
Oh boy. I am thankful for every day that I get to wake up. I'm thankful for my family, my friends who have become family. Very thankful for them. Thankful for the opportunity to be an entrepreneur. Thankful for the opportunity that I am able to excel at something that I really love doing, that I have found my niche in life. Thankful for the children that the Lord God blessed me with, because I waited a long time to do it. And he blessed me with great children, Nadia, Rondell, Isabella. I love them. Angel, Tempest, all my other babies out there. I love y'all. And you all helped me be a better person. So I'm thankful for you. Definitely thankful for my father, who is no longer with me, but always, here physically, but still always with me. And just thankful for the opportunities that are coming, because I know that every day is a brand new day and it's opportunity.
So true. So true.
So
So
now I got to ask you that same question.
I knew he was going to say that.
I could have kept going on, but I figured, we don't have that much time.
Yeah, I'm definitely thankful for I'm thankful for my health. I had to have surgery in June. And so I feel so much better than I have in like some years. I've not realized what was going on with me. So and I'm thankful, for God to put these proper doctors in my place, in my way, in my life, shall I say, to get to the roots of some of the issues that I was having. And like definitely thankful that I woke up this morning. Like, to me, I always say, you woke up this morning, that's half the battle. Because some people planned on waking up this morning, they didn't. And so when you wake up in the morning, it's a new day to start start a new day, to start your life all over again. It's like it starts over again every single day.
Yes.
You gotta look at it like that. But if you go to sleep with an issue and you want to wake up the same issue, you're not starting over again. You gotta like let that go, so you can look at it
carried it all with you.
exactly, because you gotta go to sleep and get some rest so you can look at it with new eyes, and then you could figure it out. If you're looking at it with the same eye, you're not gonna figure out whatever it was, whatever the situation it may be. So yes, and I think for my babies and happy and healthy. I know so many people having not healthy children, and not to the children's fault. Maybe they were born like that, or they got sick. So being healthy is everything. And that's more important than things. You could have money, you could have all these things. You don't have good health, you don't have anything. You really don't. Good health is important. You got to take care of yourselves, and you got to take care of your babies, and everybody. You got to take care. That's most important, and we don't do enough of that. We really, really don't. And self care, that is really important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, guys, again, write your thankful list. Ask yourself, what are you thankful for?
Every
Because
day, not
I
just
think when I think when you do that, you will realize that you have much more going for you than you have not going for you. And like I said, the holidays is a tough season. But if you are having a tough season, if you are feeling depressed, if you're feeling down, if you're just feeling like you don't know what's going on, please reach out to somebody. Don't sit and spiral by yourself. Reach out to somebody, call somebody. And those of us who have the ability, reach out to people, check on them, call your family, call your friends, call your children, call your coworker. If someone comes to your mind, reach out to them, right? But just reach out to somebody. For the rest of this month, take the time. I've been doing a gratitude challenge this whole entire month. But take the rest of this month to show somebody gratitude, to tell somebody why you're grateful for them, right? Or tell yourself why you're grateful. Write down your gratefulness. Write down the things you're grateful for. And then take time out for yourself, like I said. So blessed Thanksgiving, blessed holidays. We will see you all. We will not see you all next week because, of course, it's Thanksgiving. But we will see you all again on December 1st. And then we will be wrapping up the end of the year and ready to kick off for January 2023.
Yes.
So,
Exactly.
I know. So you guys have a wonderful holiday, Steph. Enjoy the holidays. Have a great dinner. I know you will.
Yes, I'm hosting.
Yes, I know you are the hostess with the mostest. Scarlett and I are going to be at home chilling.
Okay, nothing wrong with that.
So
Okay.
it'll be a good Thanksgiving. I'm looking forward to it.
Yes,
So
it
love
will.
you all. Be blessed. Be well.
Bye, honey bunny.
Bye, honey bunny. I love you.
I love you too.